Y'all, Daus Mendoza is getting called out big time right now on TikTok. If you guys don't know who he is, he's a very young, famous TikToker. I've talked about him before on my channel. I actually feel like he's really entertaining. I feel like he's pretty down to earth, relatable, and all that stuff. And I think that y'all, it's really crazy because I want to say he's only like 19, and I'm like, damn, this was like really, really growing on social media. But he's getting called out right now because y'all, he was on live and apparently he just snapped on somebody. I don't know. Look, I don't know if there's a backstory to this. Part of me feels like there is a backstory to this because he snapped on this person, which I will play within today's video, for seemingly like no reason. They were basically just asking like what type of serum does he use on his lashes, and he's like, Grande Lash. Like he literally like freaked out on them, and he like was like, you're not gonna buy it anyways. It's like $300 or whatever. And I'm like, whoa, like he like popped off. So I'm thinking there's a little bit of a backstory to this. However, I couldn't find anything on it. I'm thinking that maybe this person, I don't know, trolls him. I don't know if this person like asked the same question over and over and over again and maybe just irritated him, because like low key from what I've seen so far of Daus, he seems to be really chill, really humble, like not very problematic. And y'all, this I gotta say, low key, I was like, damn, like why are you getting like that? You know what I mean? I hate, in my personal opinion, I hate, or not my personal opinion, but I guess just like my feelings or whatnot. I hate when somebody like brings up the price and says like you're not gonna buy it anyways. Like it takes me back to this time, y'all. I was shopping for an Apple Watch. This is probably like 5 years ago. I was with my mom at Best Buy, and this guy, I was like, oh, this particular Apple Watch that I had wanted. I said, oh, like, do you guys have this one in stock right there? And he goes, yeah, but that one's $1,000, so I don't think you want it. And I was like, oh, hell no. And my mom literally, she was like, just to be petty, like, just buy it and then go and return it. And I was just like, oh, okay. Like, just to make comments like that is just so crazy. And that's what, like, Daus is giving me right now. So I'm just kind of like, damn, sir, you need to settle down. Which, by the way, let's go ahead and keep it real. Like, who's spending $300 on a lash serum? I don't think Grande Lash serum is that expensive because I actually purchased it before. But I got it on sale at Sephora, and I want to say I paid like 50 bucks for it. Like, it wasn't 300. So I don't know if he's talking about a different type or what. Also, before we get into that too, I do want to talk about Daus because a lot of people were calling out his sizing. He just did a brand collaboration with a Corset line. And apparently, like, it goes from like, don't quote me on the sizes here, okay? Like, I'll play his TikTok so you guys can see it for yourself. I want to say it goes from like extra, extra small all the way up to like 5XL. And a lot of people are saying like, oh, it's not inclusive enough because even the like super XL sizes are really not big enough. I'm gonna have a really hot take right here, okay? As having nothing but larger friends, as you guys know, like y'all for some reason, I don't know why my family, everyone's like, damn, I can't tell your friends apart because they're all like chubby Hispanic girls, and I'm like, you know, what am I supposed to do here, okay? Like these are just my friends. I don't know. I have to say this, okay? And I know this is gonna ruffle a lot of feathers. I know this is gonna trigger a lot of people, but when you start getting really, really plus size, do you know what I mean? Like bigger than 5XL. And I'm just asking, okay? Like, don't y'all go getting crazy with me. But when you're, bigger than a 5XL, what is a corset really going to do for you? And I know that's going to ruffle some feathers, and I know, all about inclusivity and all that stuff. It's so funny because I actually talked about Leo Skepi before, actually just like last week or something like that, and how he had gotten called out before because he said like, oh, not everything is like meant to be inclusive. And this is kind of one of those things, as somebody who I've never dressed up in drag or anything like that, I just don't quite understand if, somebody is really, I'm trying so hard to like walk on thin ice here because I'm really not trying to offend people. Because look, I totally understand if you obviously are somebody who is larger, of course, absolutely, like you want to wear some corsets to like fit into a dress or have that like hourglass shape. I totally get that. But bigger than a 5XL, like we just have to go and keep it real here, that bigger than a 5XL is like really, really, really big. So it's just kind of like, if, that's not gonna, like, what it really is a corset gonna do. So a lot of people were saying that too, and honestly, as soon as I saw that video to where he was talking about his sizing being inclusive and stuff like that, I was just kind of like, damn, I think a 5XL is really inclusive. And yes, I understand that like even at a 5XL, corsets tend to be smaller because obviously it's meant to cinch you in. I get that. But I'm just kind of like, what is he supposed to do at this point? Like go up to a 10XL? And I know this day and age that I'm probably ruffling some feathers right now and I'm probably offended some people out there, but I'm just like, honestly, I'm just trying to be realistic here. Is like, I just don't quite understand like what's that gonna do for you if you're, say for example, somebody that's on like my 600-pound life. Like what is a corset really gonna do, and how many other brands out there actually go that big? You know what bothers me is, speaking about this topic, is how that talking about things like this have become so controversial because obviously people get so easily offended. But it's just kind of like, okay, can we be realistic here? Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to offend anybody in the slightest way, but what I'm saying is if Daus is getting called out for the sizing of his corsets, I have went shopping with my homegirls many times, and it's been very, very hard for them to like find a corset, y'all. Like, it was hard for them, one of my homegirls actually, to get an XL. So I'm just kind of like, I don't understand how he's getting called out for going all the way up to 5XL. And if it's beyond 5XL, my question to y'all is, and be polite, okay, because I will fight y'all back, is like, what's the purpose of it then at that point? Do you know what I mean? And I'm sorry if I'm like offending somebody, but I don't know. As an outsider who doesn't know much about this, I'm just kind of like, damn, I think 5XL is pretty damn inclusive. Y'all know my homie Roman. You guys have seen my friend Roman on my channel. He's over 600 pounds, and y'all, he wears a 5XL. So I'm just kind of like, do you know what I mean? I don't know. I'm sorry if I offended people on that, but I will be playing that TikTok too, so you guys can see where he does address this situation. And I have to say, a lot of people in his comment section were like, your sizing is really inclusive. So I just feel like, y'all, us as a society, we just love to bitch about something. But anyways, go ahead and check out this first TikTok right here, to where he is talking about the sizing of his new corsets.
Excuse me? No, hold on. Because the last thing you're going to do is try to tell me that my waist trainers are not inclusive. First off, no other brand of waist trainer, whatever the fuck, no other brand of waist trainers ranges from 4XS to 5XL, okay? The lowest they'll go is 2XS. You'll be lucky if they go down to 3XS. The highest they'll go is 4XS. You'll be lucky if they go up to a 5XL, okay, bitch? So the one thing I will always be is inclusive, okay? Waist trainers, 4XS to 5X fucking L, all right? If you need larger, buy two, double it, and then just like click them together, bitch, and then strap it around. I don't know.
So as you guys saw from right there, him talking about the, sizing, and I have to say, like, I really am not trying to offend nobody, but I do feel like going up to 5XL is super inclusive in my personal opinion. And this is where I say, as a society, like, sometimes we need to chill out a little bit. Do you know what I mean? Because it's just like, it's getting to be a bit too much that people are complaining about all the way up to 5XL. And look, I understand that people are going to say, oh, well, like in a corset or like a cincher or whatever, a 5XL is still going to be pretty small. It's probably the equivalent to like 2X, but obviously the whole point of wearing that is to like suck you in. Do you know what I mean? But I do want to go ahead and touch on this, because this obviously seems to be a topic here, is that somebody commented right here, who even needs a bigger size than 5XL? That has 22.4 thousand likes on it. He commented back to it and said, not too much, which is the reality of the situation. And honestly, y'all, like, I'm super curious, like, low-key, like, Roman, I know you be watching my videos, so you know I ain't talking shit about you, but I wish that I had a homegirl that was like the same size as Roman, so that way I could ask, like, hey, like, what's the purpose of even wearing a cincher or a corset when you are that big? Only because, let's go ahead and keep it real here, like, how many dresses go up to be that big? How many ball gowns go up to be that big? Do you know what I mean? So it's just kind of like, we start getting to this point to where, yeah, sure, have him make up to an 8XL. Do you know what I mean? But then what is that only going to sell to like 2 people? Obviously, you have to order, you have a minimum order of a quantity. Do you know what I mean? So that's where I'm just kind of like, I don't know. I feel like I want to like tread lightly on this, but y'all know me, and you guys know that, like, y'all, if I had like, say for example, a really, really big homegirl right now, I'd be like, hey girl, like, what's the purpose of this? And I know they wouldn't take no offense to that, because obviously that's how we talk to each other. But when I am talking to the public, obviously people are going to stir shit the way they want to. Somebody else commented on here too, if you need bigger than a 5XL, is it even going to do anything at that point? And that's kind of like what I'm genuinely curious about. Like, and I know it's probably coming across offensive to some people, but yeah, nonetheless, I don't know. I really do feel like going up to a 5XL is pretty inclusive in my personal opinion. Obviously, I don't know too much about corsets. I've went shopping with my homegirls before, and I'm like, yo, I swear it was hard for them to find an XL. So the fact that like his line goes up to 5XL, and I want to say even on Amazon too, because I did have another homegirl who purchased like a 2XL on Amazon. So I'm just kind of like, okay, if that seems to be, like 1X and 2X are kind of like the thing, and he goes all the way up to 5X, that seems inclusive to me, y'all. And I don't know, it's just starting to get a little bit crazy. And also too, I wish that us as a society can like get around this topic of conversation to where it's so offensive, because somebody like myself who has been so, y'all know I was 300 pounds, y'all, like, thankfully I've kept it off for the past couple years now. But I have to say, as somebody who has been so big, like, for example, I don't know if you guys had saw this girl who was going viral because she went onto some airline, I forget exactly which one it was, and she couldn't fit in the seat, and she said that it's up to the airlines to like make the seats bigger or to accommodate her with giving her 2 seats or even a whole row on a plane. And I'm like, yo, I gotta keep it real with you guys. When I was at my biggest and when I saw that I almost needed a seatbelt extender, that was my reality check of like, I need to get it the fuck together. Like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm that big, that first of all my body is already bigger than the damn seat, and then on top of that too, I'm about to need a seatbelt extender because my damn panza so big. Like, obviously that's my wake-up call of like, okay, I'm getting too large. Do you know what I mean? So I just feel like sometimes we all need a little bit of a reality check, and I just think things like this, it's like, okay, like, how much more inclusive can you be? Because also people need to take this into consideration when it comes down to clothing, and only because my homegirl Genevieve worked for a clothing manufacturer for so long, when it comes down to that, you have a minimum order of quantity and you have to order a certain amount of each size. And when it comes down to, say for example, if he were to go all the way up to like 8XL, like how many people is he going to sell that to if he has to order, 5,000 of them, and then there's only going to be like, 100 people that buy it? It's just kind of like, what's really the point then? Once again, I'm so sorry if I'm coming across offensive. That is 100% not my intention. I just think that sometimes people get a little unrealistic when it comes down to, things like this, because it's just kind of like, okay, come on, we do gotta keep it a little real here. Do you know what I mean? Anyways, let's go ahead and move on to the next topic, to where he is popping off on this person on TikTok. And I gotta keep it real because I've watched his videos before. I actually think I follow him on TikTok, and I think that he's entertaining. I think that he's funny, and I don't know, I like his videos, honestly. This kind of left a little bad taste in my mouth, though. I was like, oh, why you gotta be such a bitch? Once again, though, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt because I do think that there is a backstory to this. I do think that maybe this person has trolled him before, maybe triggered him, maybe he was like spamming it in the comments. Do you know what I mean? Like maybe there was some type of reason, because this just seems like so out of left field. Go to check it out.
Grande Lash! Fuck! You're not even gonna buy it. It's like fucking $300. You're literally not even gonna buy it. And it makes your eyes dark. And it eats up the fat around your eyes. Not even kidding. And it gives you a fucking lazy eye. Not even kidding. Search up all the fucking side effects that comes from it. I was just one of the lucky ones that it burned. Look, see, somebody just said it burned their eye. I was literally just one of the lucky ones that didn't get none of the, what's it called? Side effects. I just got lucky.
As y'all saw from right there, like this fool popped off. My whole thing is, though, I gotta keep it real. I have viewed him before as like low-key being, kind of humble. Like he seems kind of real. Do you know what I mean? I've seen him open up before about situations that he's had with friends, and I like that he's vulnerable and things like that. So I saw a humble side of him. Him making comments like, you're not gonna buy it anyways, it's like $300 or whatever, that really is like, oh, okay, that's a little cocky right there. And it's just kind of like, I don't know, it just comes across as in like, I'm rich, you're poor, you can't afford it, I can, shut up. I don't like that type of shit. Like, y'all know that rubs me the wrong way. I just feel like, what's the point of you saying that? Like, it's one thing to pop off and like scream the name of the product because you're getting irritated at somebody on your life. Lord knows I have popped off on people on my lives before because bitches get irritating as hell and like to talk shit and spam the damn comments, and it's just kind of like, it's irritating. So I get that. But then making that comments of like, oh, it's $300, you're not gonna buy it anyways, it's just like, oh, simmer down a little bit, okay? I just really, I don't know, y'all. I start getting a really bad taste in my mouth when people start making comments like that, because it really does come across like they're like richer than, better than, like all that, and then everyone else on their lives is just like peasants. Do you know what I mean? Anyways, make sure you guys let me know your thoughts and opinions about everything. Please make sure you guys let me know about the whole Corset situation, because I genuinely am curious. Do you know what I mean? And I'm sorry if I did offend anybody out there, but it's just kind of like, I feel like when it comes down to talking obviously about, sizing and things like that, it's bound to offend people, and I totally get that, but that's not my intention whatsoever. I'm just curious as to like what the general public who are purchasing corsets and cinchers, like what is their sizing expectation, like, you know what I mean? Only because I'm a little confused on that. So please make sure you guys let me know about that. I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, Girl Scout.